And the graph of the GDP and the economics of Europe was going like this, and the graph of GDP of Asia, not just the Europe, the rest of the world was going towards a downward trend, and the GDP of Asia was going in an upwards trend. And finally, I think recently this has happened that they both the graphs have touched. Europe is right now producing as much economically and has the same GDP as Asia. And it's not, I'm confusing this again and again. Not just Europe, the rest of the world has equal growth and GDP as China and as Asia. And it's expected that the graph of the Asian countries will keep on expanding, and the Europeans and the rest of the world is going in a downward spiral. The power is transferring from all these American and European states towards Asian states. That I do believe.
We are reading about the next century is going to be the Asian century, because एशिया में बहुत ज़्यादा वो है like potential है.
Potential.
ठीक है ना? Even including India. India has got a lot of potential.
But we have disagreements with Modi.
But if it doesn't make wrong decisions and do extremist things, तो उधर भी बहुत potential है. It is actually equivalent with China in so many ways, in population wise कर लो, labor cost wise कर लो, so मतलब it could become the next industrial backyard. But people don't like India because of their extremist or मतलब some policies or the behavior they have with other people. So,
especially with Muslims.
Especially in their neighborhood, actually. They have issues with Bangladesh, they have issues with Nepal, Bhutan. Everybody thinks that India treats them like a big brother and tries to impose their policies on them. They don't like. They would prefer if China comes to their door. So they would prefer China to them, and China has done that. It has come to everybody's doorstep. They are making dams for Bangladesh. They are making dams in Myanmar. So they are making these ports for them. So that is something that, of course, India can't compete. India cannot make a port for anybody. They try to make the Chabahar port in Iran, but it's not even as much as developed as Gwadar is.
But we want India to exceed. We don't have a thing against India. The point is that we have been fighting over Kashmir for such a long period, and the economic ties and the cultural ties have been broken. Although Pakistan and India basically have the same culture, and there are a lot more Muslims in India than there are in Pakistan. We don't agree with the policies of India, but we still want that India should be prosperous in the future. And
not at our cost, actually.
At our cost.
The thing about India, which is an issue for us, is that it has this imperialist
expansionist
lust. Because first it was threatening us on Kashmir all the time. And then last year when this Ladakh thing happened, they said that Gilgit-Baltistan is also theirs. Usse pehle, they have all the way gone into Afghanistan. They were there when the Russians were there. They were totally hands in glove with the Russians. And when the Russian had to leave, they went into the capitalist camp, and then again they entered Afghanistan with the US forces. And they have made so many consulates and done everything. They have literally done everything possible to get all kinds of projects, all kinds of development work projects in Afghanistan, but that never had been fruitful because of the reason that Taliban doesn't allow any work to be done. So for us, we see that India, Iran, in fact, Iran was friends with India, and they were making a Chabahar port in Iran. So what does the Pakistani strategists think look at the whole thing like कि हमें यहाँ से नॉर्थ से भी ले रहे हैं, यहाँ से हमारे साउथ नॉर्थ उधर से अफगानिस्तान की तरफ से भी हमें ले रहे हैं और ईरान की तरफ से भी हमें ले रहे हैं. मतलब हमें चारों तरफ से उन्होंने स्क्वीज कर लिया. अगर if they want to do something nasty with us, they could do it if they had this strong
Stronghold.
feet in Afghanistan, you see, or in Iran. But अभी क्या हो रहा है कि totally flip flop हो गया है.
Flip flop. India failed. India was like in the American camp. I think if India succeeded, then America would have succeeded. If America would have succeeded, then India would have succeeded. But America is failing, Europe is failing, and China and Russia is succeeding. Plus, Turkey was in